I said you gotta.
Repeat that.
No, I didn't say. I didn't say. I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
Play again till you win.
Hey, not too much. Not too much. Just not too much. I'll let it
You better
slide.
not go
Everybody just
swimming.
relax.
Better not go swimming in
All
that
right.
boy. Gonna
I,
turn
I, I wear it all the time.
neck gonna turn green.
Never had it for
Boy,
3 years.
boy,
No,
y'all
you put
crazy.
some fingernail polish on it. That's all. You think you slick.
Yo,
Wow.
D Nice. You
He
ain't
went old
AD.
school.
Listen, AD. You can catch a lot of strays today. Don't just jump back in here. Leave me alone. I'm telling you now. But it's been a hell of a week and a half. Don't come back here just jumping on nobody bandwagon.
You act like you the only one who had a hell of a, okay?
Okay, well get cooked then. How about that, D? Get cooked. Let it marinate.
Because
I
Mayweather.
drop. I dropped the live in the chat, y'all.
How do you get the AirPods to connect to the laptop?
You
You
gotta
gotta
go
go
through.
into your. You gotta go to your Bluetooth settings on the laptop.
It's not showing up.
Yeah, you gotta go into your alternative Bluetooth settings and then literally find the. Yeah, we ain't gonna be able to do that now. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Okay.
But we
But
can
we
hear you. But we can hear you loud and clear right now.
he trying to be funny.
No, we can. I'm just not being honest.
He trying to be funny. 'Real quick, if you go to your settings and then go to the Bluetooth devices, there's one under Bluetooth. It says connect new device. You add device, and then from there you gotta click Bluetooth. And then once you add device, that's the same time you have to try to pair your AirPods.
5 more minutes, y'all.
Cool. So we can parlay.
Mhm.
Uh, D Nice, it's good to see you, sir. I ain't gonna lie to you. You muted me, dog.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a week because
That's all right.
I shut down one chapter, closed one chapter, and had to open another chapter. So it's been a little stressful, but it's all good. It wouldn't be mud if it wasn't stressful.
It's okay. It's struggle in the beauty. You got through it.
Mm, mm, mm. A couple of days there, I was like, okay, all right, Lord, you got it going on. Okay, all right, well, I got to
Hey,
give it to you.
that's how it go. He give his, his roughest, I would say, tribulations to his strongest soldiers. So keep pushing.
Mm.
If he, hey, listen, if you're going through hell, why stop there? Keep walking.
Because I'm thinking that if I keep walking, I'm gonna walk out the other side.
It ain't no thing. You going to walk to the other side.
But in the meantime, I'm gonna drink some of
I
this
got a phone call. I'm
high
sorry.
quality H2O.
Am I back clear? Hang on to his unchanging hand. Yeah. Hey, Danielle, you starting early. I see you in the comments. See you.
Uh-oh, Jay Heard buffering.
Here we go.
You. Mic check, mic check.
You good, coach?
Your mic sound nice. Check one.
Appreciate that, D Nice. Black look good on you too, D Nice. Like
I
that.
try. I try. I try. You know,
Yep.
it's my ninja assassin situation. You know.
Oh,
Red day.
It looks like we lost two.
no, she back.
And
She ain't going
okay.
nowhere.
Okay.
Hey, you're muted, coach. I don't even know why you started. If you did, I hope it was a run through.
Now that we got D Nice back on Wednesdays, now we can, football season coming up, y'all. We gonna have to get back to it.
I guess. Well, that's sport cool.
Jordan, like, nah, I don't know about no football. You might just have to be an audience member that day, Jordan.
Sport cool, I guess.
All right,
Nobody's
All right.
team. All right, go ahead.
All right, gang, 1 minute.
Okay, cool. I can say what I was about to say. Yeah, none of y'all's teams gonna be in the Super Bowl, so it don't matter.
Wow.
I don't even know why you making.
That was
What?
disrespectful.
It's not disrespectful. It's factual. It's facts.
That was disrespectful.
You are a Panthers fan. Stop.
Exactly. You've been to the show.
Well, I'm saying
One time.
You should be a Panthers fan too.
I shouldn't be anything.
You should be a Panthers fan as well.
I shouldn't be anything. But speaking of, real quick, I don't know if y'all heard North Carolina or South Carolina is getting a Major League Baseball team. And they say it's not going to be in Charlotte or Raleigh. If Greensboro get a Major League Baseball team, I'm just going to say salute to the borough.
Right. Ooh. That would be the only choice.
Destroy the Coliseum, put it right there.
All right, y'all, let's go. Yeah. Welcome back to the Still in the Mud podcast. I am your host and sole proprietor, Still in the Mud, Big Al Jameson, and today's conversation, we're going to talk about deal breakers. What are your deal breakers in a relationship? What do you feel like should be a deal breaker in a relationship? Some people feel like what is a deal breaker to some may be something that you can get through with others. But we're going to unpack it. We're going to talk about it. So before we get started, I'm going to introduce the panel. We got Dub, Jay Heard, D Nice, Miss Jordan, Dion. What it is, everybody?
How y'all doing today?
Hello.
So before we jump in, I want to do every now and then we got to do the mental check-in with everybody. Just make sure everybody's good in their right frame of mind. Everything is positive in everybody's life. How's everybody doing?
Ain't nothing that we can't get through.
I guess I'll go next. I ain't gonna lie. Work has been heavy lately. A lot of just a lot of ask, a lot of work, a lot of pressure. Um, we execute, we fight through it, but it does get tiring. It does get hard. It's hard to always be at your best, but yeah, we get through it. And as far as family wise, I mean, Big Al and Jay Heard know, shout out to our grandmother. Got rushed to the hospital, but she got through it. So, that we on the up and up. At the end of the day, we pushing through. That's my update.
Prayers go up to Big Mama. Prayers go up.
Absolutely. Deion Jordan, where y'all at mentally?
I did that one. I ain't really got nothing for you, brother. I'm just out here trying to maintain it. Here, if anybody need me, my phone work. Life gonna keep lifing. My smile and wave thing is a thing. Currently out on the road to Charlotte. I'm 5 minutes out from my destination. That's why I have the phone positioned the way it is. I'm not texting and driving. Phone is stationary. But nah, man, we good, man. No complaints, man. Life is life. If y'all need me, I'm here for you. Call me. We can talk about it. We can drink about it. We can do some other things about it.
That's respect. Life is good. School is starting back, so just trying to get everything together. Make sure everyone is prepared for that, including myself. And that's the struggle.
Hey, Jordan, real quick. I don't think they know. Can you describe what you do in teaching?
I teach speech fundamentals at a university, and I also do speech therapy. So got lots going on. So school starting back is always a time. It's always a season to adjust to. But we're gonna make it. We're gonna get it through.
Well, I love to shout out all the teachers out there because y'all do a phenomenal job. Because to be quite honest with you, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. So whether you're teaching the very young or the very ignorant, shout out to you.
Yeah, like Dub said, we had some news with Big Mama, had a what turned out to be, luckily for us, a small incident, but nothing too serious. But we thankful for her health, and she's back at home, resting comfortably. She's good. I'm gonna give a shout out to a couple people in the comments. My baby Tip is in there. D Mason, I see you, young man. Marty, appreciate you stepping in. Danielle, appreciate you too, sis. We all appreciate the support from all of y'all. And today we wanna say that this particular topic we're gonna talk about today, everybody has different perspectives on it. Everybody's different. We're gonna talk about what is a deal breaker to each individual and what should be deal breakers in relationships, or how we feel like it should be. Because one person's deal breaker could be another person's, something that they can forgive, So the first question I have for the panel is, personally, what are your just give me one personal deal breaker, something that's like absolutely something you can't deal with, tolerate, that can make you walk away from any type of relationship. And we ain't talking about just romantic relationships, just whether it be with family, friends, associates, or whatever. What is one deal breaker for you that you can't tolerate? Anybody can start.
Disrespect.
The inability to effectively communicate.
God, y'all lie. Then we just do mental check-ins. Y'all straight?
So,
I'm gonna start. I get it.
Go,
I
go.
get the disrespect. I'm gonna start with my core, which is my beliefs. So, in my relationship, is your beliefs. What do you believe in? What your religion? And then when it comes to friends, since we're compartmentalizing, right? Mine would be, I would go with disrespect.
I don't know. I think the basis for me is like persistent dishonesty. Like that's just become your nature, or that's what your nature is. You always lying pathologically. Nah, that's a deal breaker.
Well, to be quite honest with you, normally that first 90 days your representative coming. After that first 90 days, then you start to see the real individual. So,
Right.
my thing is if it's disres if it's disrespectful, if you know how I feel, but you choose to disrespect it, then I don't know if we have any basis to move forward in any type of relationship. And again, if we're talking romantic, all relationships are different. So what could be a deal breaker for one, it may not be a deal breaker for others. But you know, at the end of the given day, disrespect is real, and it is available to happen in both a platonic or a romantic relationship.
AD nice. I ain't gonna lie. You spot on. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna let you finish cooking.
Okay.
But there's two more people that need to answer this question before you start cooking. Let them get their answer first. I
Go on, take your shot. Take your
I'm
shot.
I, I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Mike Izzy. He's smashing $1 crabs, but he is sending his love right now. Mike, what it is?
That's how you
I
feel,
think
Mike.
I think a deal breaker for me would be I think D Nice said it best. I think disrespect. I think that would be the disrespect and lack thereof. If somebody disrespects you and don't know that they're disrespecting you, that's one thing. But when you constantly when you know the boundary and you choose to cross that boundary anyway, that would be a disrespect. That would be a deal breaker for me. Jay Harris, what you think?
Yeah, you guys are spot on with at least my thoughts. But I would double down on the disrespect and make it like a sub bullet um, in terms of abuse, right? So like abuse can be, I think, subcomponent of disrespect. And in my case, right, I guess as I don't want to say dominant, but as the male in the relationship, abuse usually comes in the form of verbal from the lesser, maybe the lesser. I don't know, no offense, but the woman party in the relationship. And the way I look at it is like that abuse is equivalent. The verbal abuse is equivalent to the physical abuse on a woman. You know what I'm saying? So that is how I equate in the seriousness of disrespect and verbal abuse toward from a man to a woman. I equate it the same way as a man beating on a woman, and so those are that's one of the major, I would say, deal breakers for me to sustain a long term relationship. If that continues, that's something I couldn't tolerate.
And
I want to
I
throw a
want
curveball in there real quick. Hold on, D Night.
to
And
do that.
this goes for all of us because I'm even questioning myself as I'm asking this. The same deal breakers that we have for people, are we accounting those to ourselves? And I'm not saying us as the panel. I'm just saying I'm generalizing. Do we or do people naturally say, "Hey, this is my deal breaker"? But if I do it to them, then they're supposed to be able to deal with it because people have different deal breakers. I want to your thoughts on that.
Yeah, there's
Well,
no one
well,
size
well
fits all.
yeah, it goes back to what I said earlier. One person's deal breaker may be something the next person can really get over and get past. I think it just depends on your level of what it is that you're dealing with, which kind of segues into the next segment, which we're going to talk about briefly because, we're going to talk about it briefly. But let's talk about cheating. Is cheating a deal breaker in most relationships? Should it be? I mean, I think for me personally, it's circumstantial because you have different levels of it and different circumstances that may happen, right? And I know of people who have been in relationships for 20, 10, 20, 30 years. They may not find out that their person is cheating on them immediately, but they found out that they have cheated or they have, crossed the line in the past. but they still chose to stay anyway. So I'm wondering, do you guys feel like that could be a circumstantial type of situation? Or do you think that it's just shit, or when it happens, it should just be over with, period? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm up out of there, coach. That's my answer.
So, Pee, are you suggesting that it makes it maybe lesser of an offense if it's not discovered close to when it happened?
For some people, it may be, but it depends on where you are in your life at that particular moment in time, I would think. Like, some people have, like, investments. They have, they built their life together. Kids are involved. Assets are involved. Like, you have some people are older. They don't want to start over. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different for everybody. So at this particular moment of time, if you're a couple of years in and you find out that your other person cheated, that's one thing. But if you're 20 years in and you have a house, you have a whole situation going on, is it as easy for you to end a relationship over infidelity? Especially if the person hasn't shown you or hasn't done it, or haven't made you feel like that they've done anything untrustworthy. Like, it's different for everybody.
So that's that it's circumstantial, I think, and subjective to the circumstances. But like, you can answer it anyway. But the point I want to make is, like, once there's a recovery, or that first step of maybe forgiveness is what I would call it. My opinion is that you're never fully forgiven in those moments. It'll always kind of be in the back of that person's mind.
Oh, it's definitely changing their relationship for sure. Yeah. Things are you probably not going to be. It's not going to be the same.
So why continue?
But for some, because it depends on how much it changes. Some people, like I said, some people don't want to start it. Like, I know of a woman specifically. I ain't gonna say her name on here because she's not on here. But I know of a woman specifically who's now husband cheated on her, like, multiple times, right? But because they have a whole life together, don't get me wrong, she also went and did her thing too after the fact. But I'm just saying, for some people, it's just not enough for them to be able to walk away from their marriage or their relationship. And that's just a factual thing. But I think circumstances do matter.
Is it gender specific? Is it gender specific? Because
absolutely not. No, it's not gender specific.
It's not?
No, absolutely not.
No. Heck no. I definitely don't think it's gender specific. And I'm just gonna leave that there. I want to shout out some of these comments real quick though. Shout out to Dean, yeah, that's my dog now. But going back, she said exactly. Some say we hate liars, but justify mistruth they tell. But then she also doubled down and said it's the level beneath the infidelity that needs to be examined, right? So kind of going to Jay Hurt's point, right? Like, if there's never going to be true forgiveness, why would I deal with it? And shout out to D Mason. D Mason said cheating is not negotiable.
Wait a minute, time out. Danielle, that is a lie. That is a lie. But go ahead.
They do it better.
What's a lie? I mean, yeah, I'm gonna be, a cat got 9 lives. That's been the saying for years. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't never seen a cat piss. That's all I'm gonna say.
Facts.
That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not, hey, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying, I ain't never seen a cat piss. That's all I'm saying.
Well, the situation is it is situational. It has to do with the two individuals. It has to do with the level of ownership the individual takes. And it has to do with both of the individuals wanting to be there, knowing that there's something to be saved, and making the effort, because it's not going to be easy. That type of situation or circumstance doesn't ever seem to be easy. And the reasons you do it can be stated, but at the end of the given day, are they really that important? The fact is that you've hurt somebody, and as an individual, you just have to, if that person's important enough to you, you just have to wade through the clouds. You got to wade through the stormy weather. You got to wade through it. And you got to show that you want to be there. And at the end of the given day, accept what is said. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. But just accept what comes out on the other end. And again, that's the hardest thing I've ever had to say.
So are we saying that infidelity? I just want to make sure we're clear on what we're asking or we're discussing. Are we saying
Mhm.
the infidelity in some instances is justifiable, or are we
No.
saying that infidelity is in some instances forgivable? I just
I,
want
I,
to.
I would say it depends on the person, but I would say yes, it could be forgivable based off the person and the person's requirements and that person's understanding. Is it justifiable? I'm going to say never.
Jordan, what you think? Because I can see you brewing in your head right there.
Lots of questions, honestly, because originally you guys were talking about how cheating coming out later, like what's the statute of limitations on that being brought up and it being um, something that either hurts the relationship or something that needs to be said, even, right? If it's 20 years down the line and that's something that happened, if it's 20 years, is it something that needs to be said? How does that even get brought up? So that's what I was thinking originally about, like, how do we get to a point of I cheated a long time ago and now you find out and now I have to make a decision about whether or not I want to be with you. Because when you get to an age where you've been in a relationship for a really long time, you've been in a relationship for 30 years and they cheated year one and you find out year 30, I'm not quite sure exactly how much that means to someone knowing that it was year one and only year one. And I don't know how much that means to a 30-year relationship, right? But year one, hearing that and you find out in real time that there's a lot of circumstances that in which that is something that I feel like women would have a hard time getting over. I also like to point out the fact that I feel like it's possible that women would be more forgiving in a situation of cheating, regardless of the statute of limitations or not. I just feel like the idea of a woman cheating on a man is a lot harder for men to deal with and to get over. And so I do think that it's something that is part of the circumstance. I think gender plays a role in that respect because I do feel like if a woman is in a position where she's in love with you and she loves you, I feel like there are more women who tend to be more forgiving of cheating men.
Big
I
Al, I'm
could
gonna
be
let you
wrong,
go.
but
Big
I
Al,
do think that.
do you want me to go first or you want to go first? Because I might say what you're gonna say. You want me to go? As an emotional male, I don't care what you talk about. You cheat on me, I'm crashing out.
That was her
Not
point.
That was my whole point.
no,
That's
no, no.
exactly what I'm
She said
saying.
no, but she's saying women are more forgivable, right?
No,
No, they're more
Oh,
No.
forgiving. So
Like a woman is quicker to
if you
forgive
cheated
you.
on
No.
a woman, that woman is more likely to forgive you versus she cheated on you. You're not gonna forgive her, and I know you because you probably not gonna forgive her.
I'm sliding. You already know what's up. We are
That's what my point
outside.
is. I know. That's my point. That's my point. I
Okay,
feel
so
like there
then
are
yeah,
more
therefore,
women in relationships with people that they know have already cheated than men are in a relationship with women that they know have already cheated.
hold on. Okay,
does it have anything to do? That's why I brought up the conflict. I would say controversy around the gender topic. Does it have anything to do with the act of what sex is in terms of who's being dominated and who's dominating?
I think it depends
Right.
on the person because I would say I'm more emotional. I could go in that same category, and I don't care how any man on this podcast or who's watching feel about it. I could go in the same category with being as emotional as some women. Some men take it,
not the emotional piece. That's not what I'm highlighting. It's
but that is
He's talking about
But-
gender roles. He's talking about gender roles.
Yeah, not necessarily gender roles, but just the nature of heterosexual sexual activity.
so then there's
Somebody's being inserted, and somebody's inserting. So the fact that it appears
Gender roles.
The anatomy.
Gender roles.
Okay, so basically, are you saying that is it possible that it's more forgiving one way or the other because a male has to insert something versus a woman having to take something?
that's
In the sexual-
that's the controversy that I'm throwing out there now. Yes.
Okay.
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I was-
So the controversy to that is this. It's a hold on. You can have interactions where you have women that are just as dominant in bed, where the whether it's insertion and like insert. I can't even get the word out because I'm trying to make sure I use the right word choice. All I'm saying is this: a woman can be just as dominant, regardless if a man is inserting or not, because she can control the whole interaction of sex.
So
If she on top,
no, that's not the definition of dominance. Like in terms of who's inflicting the pressure, the pain, whatever, it's the man.
so
like,
she's
the
riding.
example-
Who's inflicting what?
The example is like it's kind of easier. It's much easier to visit someone else's home than for them to visit yours. You get what I'm saying? So the man is visiting the home of the woman, right? You got to clean up. You got to do all these things, right? I don't know if that was a good example. If it struck with you, but the point is that somebody's inserting. So somebody's being violated, whether it be pleasurable or not. There's an insertion piece, which I'm equating to dominance, and a lot of men are, in my opinion, are territorial over their woman, right? So they don't want their woman to be dominated by someone else. So that's why it's much harder for them to forgive because the mental state is that another man, while you were with the woman, it has dominated in the space that you've considered your home and your ownership.
I think
And
that's
I
one
love
way
that.
to
Hold
look at it. That's one way to look at it. But then also, I do think that the idea of, I think naturally, outside of the fact that males, there's only way for that to happen, and for women, that's only one way for that to happen. I think if someone were to cheat on you, do you know these details, or are you automatically going to go with the fact that the situation, are you concluding that the situation is that the man is dominating the woman because we know how sex works? Or are you taking into consideration what actually happens during the cheating situation? Are you even asking questions to know? Because why I feel like men wouldn't even want to know what happened.
They ask.
Why would I want-
What's the first questions they usually ask? As men,
Y'all don't want to know though. Just because you ask doesn't mean y'all want to know.
I can tell you the
Was he-
first
was he
question
bigger
gonna
than me?
be
Did you hit him
Did-
wrong? Did you hit him head? All that stuff is gonna come up.
the top three right there, no order. Did you suck him off? 100%. Those are the top three. But my point is, I'm not even on that side, but I do gotta agree with him on those three questions. My problem is we're sitting here addressing that, and I ain't gonna lie. I gotta read a comment. Tiff, I'm on your head. You said, and I quote, I agree, Jasmine. Men can't take the same hurt they give. What if we don't give it?
She met Jordan, by the way.
Okay, Jordan, Jasmine, Jordan, J Boog, all of them. What if that man don't give no hurt, but y'all do? Then what? Why is it always one-sided? And D. Mason said it best. D. Mason said, unfortunately, double standards are a thing. Not saying they are right, but they're a thing. All I'm telling y'all is, do not get it mixed up that a man can't be as emotional or emotionally invested, emotionally mature, emotionally aware, whatever,
Not the point.
as a woman. And if you feel that way as a man, that's your problem. Because I can catch you in the same spot.
Go ahead, Pee Wee. I know your hand probably numb at this
Go
point.
ahead,
You've been
yeah,
up for a minute.
yeah.
So let me let me frame this a different way, right? I think all of y'all are right to a degree. Right, Jordan, I agree with you. I think men can't take it the same way women can, right? But that's in the immediate. Like, if a man finds out sooner than it was later, he probably not going to be able to take it, to be honest with you. Or if you did it, okay, let's just say I've seen instances where a man cheated one day, the woman found out the next day, and she still forgives him, right? I don't think a man could do that. If a man found out you cheated the day after, oh yeah, he out of there. You out of there. And Jay Hurd is right. We have a problem with, because it's an ego thing, we ask questions that we really don't want to know the answer to, but we gonna ask them just to see where you are with it. So I will agree with that.
You shouldn't have asked.
Right. No, logically that makes sense, but at the same time, we're men. That's just what we do. That's, so, but I think if you're talking about years down the line, like if Tip came to me 20 years from now and say, yeah, I slipped up and did that, the third, then I have to assess, well, what has happened since then? And would it bother me as much as I'll probably be pissed off in the moment, but would I leave? Would I end the last 20 years of my life? Because you understand what I'm saying? And the reason why it would come up would be maybe it's been eating away at her that long. And she finally got brave enough to say something.
But you ain't answer the question. But would I leave? What?
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I can't sit up here and say that if I found out about it 20 years later, let's just say I found out about it 20 years later and I've been happy for the last 20 years. We've been happy. Our relationship has been great. I don't know if that's enough to make me want to leave. But But if I found out that she did it and then the next day she feels compelled to tell me, it's different. Like it would be different because it just happened. It's fresh. You understand what I'm saying?
Can I point out that I think Tip said something about women being more emotional and getting attached. So that's why men ask questions. I'm wondering, is it unforgivable? Is it more unforgivable for a man because it's assumed that the woman is emotionally attached to the man? Exactly. Regardless of how it happened, it's just automatically assumed that they are emotionally tied?
Exactly, because I can make the argument that emotional attachment is worse than physical.
Well, I can agree with that, but is the assumption because we're women that if we cheated with someone, it's because we are emotionally attached with them? That's
probably naturally from a natural perspective, probably so. It may not be the case, but that's just how we are. That's why how men are wired, is that we're automatically thinking just naturally. I ain't talking about logic or nothing like that. I'm talking about just from a natural reaction. We're automatically thinking, "Damn, she want to be with this motherfucker," as opposed to be with me. Hold on. I'm gonna let Dion get in there because he's making a whole bunch of faces. Dion, what you got?
I don't even see Dion on my screen. That's crazy.
Because I ain't saying nothing for 30 minutes. Y'all right. Are interested. we are on a roller coaster. Okay, I said gender roles to Jay Hurd's point because with a gender role there can be dominant and submissive energy. That's not an insertion. That's not a receiving thing. It's just dominant and submissive energy. As a dominant woman who's the head of her household, whether that's emotionally, whether that's she's the breadwinner, whatever it is, if she's dealing with a submissive ass nigga, is he not on the same page as the logic of the emotional one? No. Not saying you have to be submissive to be emotional. I'm saying is based off of the example that y'all just gave, if she cheated, she bringing home the bacon and she's doing these things. She's taking care of the home. She's the thinker. She's the doer. She's that person. And she cheats because she has nobody to talk to because she don't respect her man. And he decides to go back. That fights the stereotype that y'all just gave. We just assuming, this is what y'all literally just said, women are more emotional and men are more, let's say, carnal in their desires. Women think more, we think less. If they cheat, it's more thought into it. There's an emotional connection. Boom, got it. Cool. That's cute. So what if you're not doing your job as a man? Let's say you're not paying her any attention. Like none. Like zero attention. And all he's giving is attention. Not even conversation. He worked with her. He just said, "Oh, I like your dress." She gave her the pussy off, "I like your dress," 20 years ago. but you built your relationship on trust. 20 years later, nigga, you found out she's a liar. But for 20 years, you was in love with somebody that told you the truth. That changes the foundation. That changes the foundation and the core of your belief system for who the person that you're with. I'm calling renege. Somebody reneged.
But
I'm calling the book, and you're a renegade. Now, all this is circumstantial.
But at the end of the day, 20 years later, is that still enough for you to leave?
It depends on the person.
We seen it.
That's all I'm saying. You believe somebody was something that they weren't for 20 years, and their conscience beat the shit out of them to tell you 20 years later. I mean, you got to make it make sense to me. I'm sorry.
But
suppose they were people that they were one day, and then 20 years later, they have never been that one person.
Yeah, I agree. What if it's one day of weakness? What if it's one day of circumstances where y'all had dragged down fallout, or 2 days. But what I'm saying is, 20 years later, what I am asking is, if 20 years later you have a life together, you all have. I mean, other outside factors do matter, because you're talking about kids, assets, investments, engagements, things like that. Is with cheating, with knowing that somebody cheated on you year one, and you're 20 with this person, is that enough for you to leave?
Yeah, all the stuff.
So
on the ground.
But hold fast. Use an example. It happened 20 years ago. For you to be thinking about it 20 years later, you thought about it, you did it, or it happened again.
Because you're the guilty party. Of course you're gonna think about it. But I'm
not 20 years later.
Okay, but let's just say it was the one time, and you, the person who's receiving the information, you look back on the past 20 years of your life, and this person has never given you any other reason to suspect, or they've been able to emotionally give you security emotionally, other than them telling you that one time. Is that still enough for you to leave?
So we're saying,
you ever heard of 12 years a slave?
Hold on.
You ever heard of 12 years a slave?
Hold on.
You ever heard of 12 years a slave?
We're saying
20 years a liar. She's 20 years a liar.
Granted.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Doug.
We're saying, because somebody didn't give an inkling, I didn't have no clue, it changes the fact that the action still happened.
That's not
what I'm saying. That's what you asked.
That's not what I'm saying. What I am asking,
literally what you said.
No. Let me be totally specific so you can understand where I'm coming from, right? What I am saying is, if they had a moment, or they did it 20 years ago, let's just say she did it year one of y'all's relationship, marriage, whatever, year one, right? Let's just say before you got married, she cheated on you while y'all were dating, in the dating stage, as boyfriend and girlfriend. Y'all were in a committed relationship, right? But for the past 20 years of your life in your marriage, she has given you no other inkling or no other reason to believe that she has stepped out on you. She hasn't given no evidence. You haven't found anything. You haven't gone to look for anything. She's made you feel like that she can trust you. You feel like that she's a genuine person. She's a good mother, good wife, good friend, good whatever. And she comes to you after 20 years and says, babe, I fucked up 20 years ago. Are you still willing to leave after that?
So this is what I'm explaining to you. Now we're talking about the different dynamics of relationships. You should work towards marriage as a girlfriends and boyfriends. Yes? Right. Do we agree?
Right.
But once we make this covenant, right? Once this covenant is literally given to God and you've been handed off, this is where religion plays a part.
So it can't come up. It has to come up before marriage. Is that what you're saying? If it happened, it has to come up before marriage. But regardless, you leaving anyway.
Ask that again. I couldn't hear you.
I said it has to come up before marriage. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is, after the covenant has happened in 15 to 20 years, has happened, and I didn't even know before. If I would have knew before, we wouldn't be here. Is my point. So I can't change the fact that the last 20 years have been great. But my point is, in a marriage, and cheating in general, I don't agree with. But in
So
a
answer the
marriage,
question. Would you leave?
okay.
If it happened to you,
It's a
would you
simple
leave?
question. Yeah, it's a simple
So I'm
question.
gonna
Would
answer
you
the
leave?
question. I can't
Marriage
answer
was
it because
not in
I
the
ain't been
question.
married for 20 years.
Marriage was not in the
Hypothetically.
question.
But just from a
Marriage was
logical
never not in the
perspective,
question.
I
go ahead,
can't
dear.
give you an
Go ahead, dear.
answer because Dub at 31 and Dub
Marriage
at
was
51
never
is
in the
not the same
question.
man.
Oh,
What do
And
y'all
that's
want
not
me to
Marriage
say?
was
consensual.
never in the question. Remove marriage, because now we're moving the goalposts. We didn't. Nobody said marriage, and nobody's question,
No, he
nobody's
did. You
point.
weren't listening. Maybe you got wrong signal. He said marriage.
You want to
I,
take marriage?
yeah, I did say marriage.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mute
never mind,
up.
Dub. You
You on a
right.
2-minute
Hey,
warning. Talking for no reason.
Wait, so does that add more complexity or
Yes. Marriage
ability?
does
Hold on,
add
hold
more
on.
complexity.
Or ability to forgive, depending on if papers are signed, you jump the broom. Is that I'm trying to wrap my head around it. And is if the answer is yes, that marriage requires a deeper thought if you're gonna leave or not. Like, is that just because there's a formality and it's harder to get out of it?
I mean, to a
But
degree, it kind. I mean, wouldn't you think that it does? Because marriage is a legally binding. You know, by law, it's a legally binding contract, right?
I know, but your
So
morals
wouldn't
or your
it be
deal breaker.
more? So wouldn't it be more? But at the same time, marriage isn't just the only factor. I think your age and where you are in your life is a factor as well.
So
Like I said, there's this couple that I know who are now married. They were already together 15, 16 years and in their 40s.
so you're saying your deal breakers change depending on if you're married or not. That's what
I
that's
think
what
I think to a degree it does. And I've seen it.
Why?
I've seen it with some people.
I
Because you're
just think
looking
it's
at life
based off the
differently
season
when
that
you're
you
older.
are.
I think
I just think you're right. It's the season that you're in.
Right.
People
I think your deal
change.
breakers change based on years, based on situations, based on what life throws at you. So Dub at 31 can say, "Yeah, I'm out." But
Right.
Dub at
At
51,
51,
after 20 years
it might not
of
be so much. Yeah.
That's
experiences
all I'm
and
saying.
lessons learned is a different thing. So what I say to Dub is, okay, right now, if you're cheated, you're gone. Got it. But you can't speak to the future. And then that's what you said to me. So I feel comfortable in saying that to you. It's just you got to understand that a lot of people say, they have a black and white. But this world, this journey we on is always 50 shades of gray. And if you don't think so, you got a lot more living to do.
Mm,
I
could
would
So
like
let
be.
me
to
so
add too. That's good. That's good because I was wondering those that are married or that are in a relationship. Do you feel like you're the same person that you were before you got in a relationship that you are now, or even the same
Never,
person that you were whenever you started the relationship? Because
never,
if you are, then that kind of insinuates the fact that the
no growth.
expectation for growth, yeah, the expectation for growth and for those what did we talk about last week? The deal breakers, but we're talking about deal breakers now. But last week we were talking about
Bare minimum.
the bare minimum, right? So
mhm.
those things, if we're saying that those things don't change, it's kind of insinuating that we don't evolve and that we don't change as people, or
Right.
expecting people not to change.
So
Exactly. Because
growth. We can't.
let me put it to you this way. When I first got married, my wife said, if I call you, will you come for me? Not ask me a bunch of questions, not do this, not do that. Will you come for me? I said yes. And now, 16, 17 years later, if she calls me, I'm coming for her. No questions asked. However, that's easy. That's a cut and dry. Now, this woman who has gone through the fire with me, who has been with me when I have not given her cause to be, who we have talked and we have toiled and we have cried and we have laughed and there's a certain level of fire because relationships are not cut and dry. They really aren't, especially romantic ones. So I can't say, Jordan, if you say you're gonna take him back now, and I can't say you're wrong. Only Jordan can say she's wrong. You see what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
my thing is with Dove, I respect you for saying what you said. I respect you for that. Now, are you going to say, will you say the same thing in 20 years? I don't necessarily know. And you don't know either because you just said we have to give ourselves the opportunity to grow and to experience things before. So that's why it's hard to answer that question with any amount of certainty.
Big facts, D Nice. And I want to say this. I want to segue for a second. Hey, everybody in our community, I'm glad y'all been tuning in. The chat been jumping tonight. Listen, we are 6 subscribers away from 100. I don't know what you're doing. Your child,
Yeah, right,
auntie, uncle, girlfriend,
right.
boyfriend's uncle, nephew. Send it to him. Tell him to subscribe. Welcome to Still in the Mud.
Well,
Build up the community. Y'all are part of the community. So it's called
absolutely.
Still in the Mud because y'all are the foundation of everything that we do. So come
Right.
on now. We 6 away. We need
Hey,
6 subscribers tonight. Let's get it.
hey, y'all
Send it to
grinding,
somebody.
we
Tell them to
grinding.
subscribe.
You see what I'm saying? Y'all
Abs-
grinding, we grinding. We all grinding here. We're
Absolutely.
saying we're coming out here to give our opinions and give our lessons learned so that we can all come up as a people. So
Oh,
I think the number of subscribers need to come up. Let's
hey,
let's
Pee
go do that.
Pee Wee,
It,
I
it,
just want to say this though, because like the point we talked about growth, right? And I just want to make sure we define what that is. Because what I
mm,
heard from you all is that growth is synonymous to a change tolerance on deal breakers.
mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm.
That's what you guys are.
It could be
That's the way I
it could
received it.
it could be a different perspective on what deal
Right,
breakers are. Things that
right.
bother you now, 20 years from now, may not bother you in the same way. Like we all
And
grow and change in different ways. I don't even know if I want to say that it's growth. It's just a change in attitude, thought process, everything like that. The things that bothered me the most 20 years ago don't bother me as much today. You understand what I'm saying? Because I understand. I guess because I mean, if it makes sense, because I understand that it would bother me, it doesn't bother me anymore. You understand what I'm saying? Or I know that certain things would affect me emotionally that will make me think irrationally. Those are the type of things that I will not allow to get to me in the same way.
The specifics though, like infidelity of a woman, is forgivable for
I
you.
can't say I can't say that because again, we talk about circumstances matter. If she was infidelity 20 years ago, 10 years ago, I would look at it differently as opposed to if she just did it yesterday. If she just did it yesterday, I'm out. I think anybody would.
So
Just about.
that's why I was going back to the justifiable piece. Are there not just the time frame, but hey, you weren't paying attention to her. Hey, you weren't complimenting, or hey, you weren't performing.
I think it does play a role. I think
Really?
if your person is communicating you that you are not giving them the things that they need to make them happy, it can fester a more weaker minded moment to happen or something that they probably normally wouldn't do. Everybody don't have listen. We can sit up here and say all day, well, you should have walked away or you should have just left. You should have just did that and the third. But the reality is everybody don't do that. Some people try to hold on, hoping things will change, and one thing leads to another, and then something happens. Like that's
That,
just
that
that.
increases your chance to forgive depending on the reason. That's what I'm hinting at. If you know in your heart of hearts that you weren't performing like she wants you to, and she decided to do what she wanted to do and was unfaithful, would you say, hey, oh, you know what? That was justifiable. I gotta forgive her.
I don't know if justify. This is what I was gonna say. I don't know if justifiable is
Is the
the
word.
word.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's justifiable. Is it a sense of understanding? Yes. Justifying? No. They're two different things.
Yeah,
Do I understand?
You can't
Yes.
really. You can never really justify betrayal. It can never be justified as far as the level of betrayal. I mean, no matter what level of betrayal you're on, betrayal can't necessarily be justified. Like Dub said, can you understand? Yes, there's a level of understanding that can come wrong. I'm not sure you could ever really justify, because justified betrayal to me is an intent to be the one who's betraying the other person.
So you can forgive without it being justified. Is that
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes.
Right. I think you can. Depending
In the
on
same sense of like a forgive but not forget type of thing, you know.
Exactly.
I think that there is a layer of that's probably fine. But then also too, like in the comments, they're talking about Danielle said, have a conversation, don't be sneaky. So if the conversation has already been had, that there's some things that your partner is lacking on, and that conversation has already been had, and it's maybe been had multiple times, maybe there's no progress in seeing that change, and then they cheat thereafter, and then they tell you that they cheated, right? Like Dub said, I wouldn't say it's justifiable, but understandable in the sense of, I told you what I was feeling. I had described all these things to you before, and then I found myself in a situation that I didn't necessarily want to be in, but I was in, and I'm being honest now and letting you know that too. I don't think that it's justifiable, but it's something that definitely would change the situation versus, I never told you that we were having an issue, and then I go out and I cheat, and then I come back and I tell you.
Right. It all changes.
Well,
But listen,
I want to say this. Go ahead.
No, I just want to move on to another segment, because we've been on this one for a while. I want to get on this before we get off. Is there outside of cheating, is there a level of disrespect that could be a deal breaker for you?
Yes.
Give me an example.
I don't even gotta get into no. I knew you was gonna see. I don't even want to give examples.
If you're disrespect,
if we get to a point,
if your disrespect is repetition, if it's disrespect initially, and I call it that, and we talk about it, and you know how I feel, and then you continually do it, then that's repetition, and we continually talk about it. I'm not saying it's one conversation, because understand, relationships aren't one conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think it, you need to be by yourself a little while, because relationships are never one conversation. They are multiple conversations, because everybody's in a different space each conversation. You know, if you got some shallow stuff going on at work, and it's just beating you down, and you have the conversation then, it's different than if you have the conversation another time that work is going all right. That's why I'm saying that everything we're talking about tonight is going to boil down to situations and the individuals who are in the relationship. That's why Jordan's deal breakers would be Jordan's, Al's would be Al's, Dubs would be Dubs, J Herd would be J Herd's, and mine would be mine, because they're all going to be different based on the situation, based on the relationship, based on the two people involved in this journey. And don't mistake it for just the situation. It's a journey.
I like what Danielle said in the comments. She said intentional and malicious disrespect is unacceptable, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
so
go ahead.
Go ahead, Doug.
hold on. All right. I'm gonna go. I'm about to have a dramatic pause.
Ay, Dios mío.
We have to understand as individuals that we all have flaws, right? We all on this panel can agree, right? We all have our flaws, correct? Disrespect comes from not diving deep enough or communicating enough to understand your partner's love language and what they need. So once disrespect becomes consistent, it's now a choice, just like cheating is.
Mhm.
That is my point. We have to stop acting like we are sitting here literally. Oh, I just made a mistake because of a day, it was a week, it was no, because everything that I'm taking away from my partner, my family, whatever, my love, is because I made a choice to do so, not because I literally had a bad day.
But I'm no. But I'm talking about no. You gotta go back to what I said at the beginning. I'm talking about outside of cheating. What is a
Regardless of cheating,
what is a level?
disrespect.
What is a level? What is a level of when does disrespect become a deal breaker for you? Not I'm outside of cheating, outside of
Okay.
infidelity, betrayal, all that. I'm talking about
Oh,
just when does a level of disrespect become a what level
I'm
what
gonna tell.
level does it have to get to for it to be a deal breaker for you? That's what I'm
So
saying.
this is the true, honest human. If people are being genuine with themselves, the true answer is I can't give you that answer because I don't know until I break it. We all say there's a level, and then something happens, and then we go back, we do these dumb things, we go back and forth. Nobody really knows that we say that.
Okay. Well, let me reframe the question for you then. What is something that somebody could do for you disrespectfully that'll make you be like, I can't rock with them no more? Just give me an example. Just like take a dramatic pause and think about it for a second. What is something that somebody could do? I know, right? What is something somebody could do to you
It
that
wasn't
just
that
make
funny.
me that just make you feel like, you know what, I can't rock with them no more. I gotta back away from them.
Disrespect my house.
And Dub, like you at some point, I would ask that we speak on what we think, how we will respond on hypothetical situations.
Right,
Like
I got
right.
you.
we're not always gonna have the answers based on history or past.
Right.
And so we've
Right,
got
right,
to
right.
put
You're
our
right.
frame of mind and say, hey, okay, I've never been through that, but if I were 50, how do I think in this moment I would feel based on my growth, as you guys' word, and maybe even my forecast of growth from 31 to 50. So
Okay,
that's what I
so
would ask.
Okay.
okay, I can do that. I can do that for you. I can make that deliverable. You want to be an engineer. Um,
Well, give. Go ahead. Go ahead.
is I'm gonna say this. It's so the first thing that comes to mind, I can't if I can't bring up infidelity, would be the it would be lying. It would be a form of lying to a consistent basis that has put us into a perspective where we had
You
goals set
you
up.
have to question their trust. Yeah, you have to question your trust for that person. Right,
Yes. So,
right.
like, let's say we were looking into a business venture together, like going in on a house, or we were looking to start our own business, or things of that nature. And you have a trend of lying, and then I find out, and then we were about to sign this dotted line, and I'm like,
You the only
yo,
one. You the only one putting up the money. Yeah.
yeah, no, no, no. Even if I'm not. I was about to go half and half with somebody that lied to me and stabbed me in my back. At the end of the day, could then steal all my money from me, regardless. Everything that we've worked towards, every idea, blueprint that I built out, right? At that point, I'm like, I gotta go because at the end of the day, I'm like this, and I keep it like this, and I do this for our community, but I do this for myself. I don't show you no colors on my canvas that I didn't paint myself. Anything about myself, Dub, you don't have to worry about. I'm gonna show you. You're gonna see the color, whether you like it or not. Nobody's ever gonna be able to come to you and say, Dub did this, and you're gonna look at me and know me and say, no. Because that doesn't it's never gonna work out that way. I'm always going to show you. So in your seasons of your lives, as you change, that's why overly effectively communicating is very clear. It's very key. It's pivotal. So if we're not talking, we're not understanding what are we doing. So for me, if I had to put myself in a 50-year-old shoes, I'm trying to have longevity wealth, build generations, change family dynamics. Lying would be very clear for me at an old age. Like, yo, I'm gonna be real. You corny. You's a cornball.
I'd
What you
have to
got, Jordan?
say, someone said in the chat that who's still lying at this old age. I don't know if lying really leaves people that are liars, you know? So, if I had to answer the question myself, you know, I started off in terms of my deal breakers being about the same thing that Dub just talked about, persistent lying, right? But then also like a consistent lack of inconsideration if you can't consider me. And I noticed that over and over and over again. That won't fly. But then also to that point, right? Not only the consideration, but like being too involved with yourself and seeing a change in humility. So it going from humility to it being more vain, and I can see that change happening, and you not being able to get outside of yourself. That's another thing. And then intimate partner violence in general. Any form of IPV that's consistent. That includes the verbal, the physical, you know, emotional, um, anything like that that I can describe and define as intimate partner violence. It's not for me. It wasn't ever for me then to begin with either. So
Jared, what you think?
Repeat the question. We were talking about a few topics, to be honest.
Outside of cheating, right? What would be a form of disrespect to you what would be a deal breaker in terms of disrespect that would make you not deal with a person anymore? Let's just think about family and friend groups as opposed to your relationship or marriage. D Nice brought up a good one earlier. He said constant disrespect, like constant boundary crossing.
Yeah, I'm a huge proponent of. I always use like the metaphor, like hold your your own weight, right? And so I think that in a relationship, whether it be a friendship or romantic, the expectation for me would be for that person to be able to hold what they're responsible for, right? Whether it be gender roles, whether it be, you know, just your own natural things that cost, in particular, living situations, car situations. Like I appreciate folks that can take care of themselves, and that's a gift for me, right? And that's really the bare minimum that I require. Is say, hey, you can stand on your own 10 toes yourself on the basic necessities. But so to answer your question, somebody that can't consistently hold their own weight, and weight means the necessities of life, they can sustain that for themselves, is a deal breaker for me. If it always, and we all need help every so often, right? And even maybe even more than every so often. But when it becomes a consistent thing, that leads me to believe that you're not holding your own weight, and that's a huge pet peeve for me. And I don't that's my gift to in a relationship or a friendship. Folks that hold their own weight is a gift back to me because it won't come back to me, and I don't want the relationship to be uh, uh, hinged upon me inserting and helping you carry your own weight, because the expectation for me is for you to do that by yourself at bare minimum.
All right, so I think those are all great points. Moving on, and I'm gonna touch on this last subject before we wrap it up. Money and financial habits in a relationship. I'm talking about in a relationship. If you are a person who is a saver, is it realistic for you to be with somebody who is a spender or somebody who is not a saver? Do you
Yes.
think that finances Do you think finances play a role in whether a relationship can be successful or not?
See, this is where I literally dive into the emotional aspect of it. This is where that point matters, because even if that person isn't, but your love, your the feeling that you have for that person drives you to that person, you naturally, regardless if you don't want to or not, you naturally find yourself there, right? You find yourself there. So if you find yourself there, does it is it a deal breaker? No, but if we emotionally both invested to the point where there is trust, understanding, and love with both of us, I feel like there should be growth in both of us where, because you spend so much, hey, we might need to cut this down based off our dynamic, our relationship, and our feeling. That's how I feel. I feel like we all have to change in some form or fashion. And I'll use me for an example. I'm okay being a guinea pig always. It's like I've always been loud. I have to work on effectively communicating. And because I'm a naturally loud person, doesn't mean that my intentions aren't still genuine and still pure. But at the end of the day, my expression could be a little bit more subtle, a little bit more soft, right? So, yes, a habit can change, whether it's finances or whatever. I know finances was the example, but I feel like I can't always be loud.
Okay. Okay. Here's my thing. If you're a saver, are you a saver because you can see where saving is good and you can extol the virtues of saving, or are you saving because you're scared you're not going to have anything? See, there's a difference in that. And if you're in a relationship, you can't be a saver or a spender and say that's it and that's all, because you're both wrong. You're both dead wrong. There's a common ground. If there's no common ground, you got to think about that relationship. If I'm a spender, I'm a ease up on spending because I see the value in saving. If I'm a saver, I'm gonna spend a little bit because damn it, I worked for it. But if you're if you're just on, I gotta save, I gotta save, you gotta save too, we gotta save, we gotta save, we gotta save. What we saving it for? What we saving it for? Where is the union of that? Because here's the funny part. If you're that staunch saver and you're not with a saver, you knew that ahead of time. But what you're saying is, well, I'm gonna change him. No, you're gonna whine him or whine her. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna say, or her.
right, or her. So you guys have to come together. Y'all work hard. I know my wife and I work hard. And my thought is I'm paying the rent first and all the major bills. Her thought is, hey, why don't we do a third for this, a third for this, and a third for this? That way we can enjoy the fruits of our labor because you're laboring. Nobody in here, nobody in here with a significant other can say, oh, I love my job and I just want to work. Yeah, let me give you $100 million, see what you do. Okay, so let's cut let's cut that out. You got $100 million in your pocket. You ain't doing the damn thing. You ain't doing nothing you doing now. You ain't going to
But
work.
that's my
I'm dropping the mic. I'm dropping the mic. I'm telling you up front. But
no. And go ahead,
if
D.
we no, I'm just saying if we spend together and we save together, then we're united together.
I agree with that, but that was my point to my example. I just used me just to give an example about being loud.
Mhm,
Is like growth
mhm,
has to happen on both parties, regardless. So if one's a spender, one's a saver, whatever the scenario may be, there has to be a balance so that we level set. That's all I'm
mhm,
saying. But there also has to be a sense of understanding and open-mindedness to see it from somebody else's point of view.
Oh yeah, and Doug, you loud as hell, sir. But here's the thing:
I know.
whoever's with you
I,
gotta find places for you to be loud. You see what I'm saying? Where can Doug be loud? Where we at? Podcast. Doug be loud. Or and then you have to find places where you can be soft. It's a collective. It's a work in progress. It's working together. And people. I have people in my life who say, well, I'm if I'd still do my job if I hit the lottery. Okay, all right. Uh, yeah, whatever. I hit $800 million. Watch how quick I do what I do. Okay, thank you.
if you hit 8 million, just welcome to Still in the Mud.
Yeah,
Now I'm coming by. I'm coming by. I'm gonna meet you at the airport. I'm gonna say, here's your black card. I gotta go.
Okay, and that's fine. It's in the Roth IRA. But go ahead.
so the point I want to make, at least my opinion, is that like I've always been a huge proponent of playing to each other's strengths and accepting where there's like faults or um, not matching strengths, right? So if finances is one, he's a spender, she's not. Like I think it comes with you know accepting that, but also with boundaries, right? So for me, in my particular case, like my old lady, she's not. I'm a task driven individual. If you put something on my list, I'm going to knock it out. Right? She's not really like that, and it initially bothers me. Like it used to bother me that hey, she's not task driven like me. So I've come to the point where I've learned to accept it and then expect that she won't operate in the same light that I will because I excel in that light. She doesn't. Same thing with finances, right? So you have to create expectations on what we expect of our partners so that we're not disappointed. And that doesn't mean it's not room for growth or even coaching. It may be a tough term, but influence of things that you're good at to make them better at it. But at some point, you got to create boundaries. So if it's, hey, D Nice, I'm D Nice suspender, his wife is not. We have clear structure on what we've aligned on. At least bills are paid, whatever's left. Maybe we don't save all of whatever's left. Maybe we do half, and then the other half we go to fine dining. We put towards a cruise. We go on trips, and I think it comes with the compromise. But it initially starts with acceptance that you're good at this and I'm not, or she's good at this and I'm not, and she should expect this of me, not to show up in the same light or as well in these categories as I do, because we're different people and we have strengths that are different as well.
Exactly. Exactly. Makes sense.
I think for me, I would consider myself to be both a spender and a saver, but I lean on the saver part. So the same way that D Nice was talking about how what are we saving for? I would be thinking, what are we spending for, right? And
Mhm.
more than just what are we spending for, it's more like is it something that makes sense? Is it practical or is it for fun? Those things kind of matter. As long as there's a balance of fun and practicality, then I think that a spender being with a saver can work out, mostly because like the idea should be about whether or not you can live in the same space but also learn from each other, not about
Mhm.
like telling the other person what to do or how they should spend their money. But if I am with someone who's more of a spender than a saver, I plan on learning how to spend in a way that makes sense, because we deserve to do that just as much as we deserve to have savings for whatever we need savings for, right? So I feel like I would see it as a learning opportunity to be with someone who uses money differently than I do, but also, to Jonathan's point, not having expectations for him to become a saver just because I'm a saver, right? Or to change the way that, he operates with money wholly. But there would definitely need to be an understanding mutually of the fact of like these are the things that we're not going to do, right? We're not going to spend so much that our lights go out. You know what I mean? We're not going to save so
Exactly.
much that we never go
Hmm.
vacation. Both things need to be true, right? So that's where I'm at with it.
Good, good. There's a compromise. There's a happy medium. So where if you want if you want to go out and buy some tennis shoes or some shoes, some sneakers, whatever you want to do, or you want to go out and have the other one wants to have a good dinner or go out to a movie or a show, that it both of those can live in the same relationship. You just have to have grace. Now, I know Grace. She's a wonderful girl, but not many relationships show a whole bunch of grace. You just have to love each other through it, which is the basic thing.
Yeah. And I also wonder if, because I'm not married, so I also wonder if and how the ideals around money changes whenever you get married, because I have been taught, maybe correctly, maybe incorrectly, but learned that marriage was a little bit more of a financial decision than a lot of other aspects that go into it. And maybe it's because whoever I had been talking to, that may have been the reason why the marriage didn't work out, right? Or that may have been the biggest issue in their relationship. So I'm curious to see or understand how that changes. If you're dating someone, whether someone's a saver or a spender when you're dating probably doesn't matter nearly as much as it does whenever you're in a marriage, and you may or may not be sharing bank accounts. And so like if we are saving money, are you saving all of my money and I can't spend my money? Or if we're spending money, are you spending all of my money and I don't get to, save anything? So those things I think also matter. Those circumstances and the situations also matter.
No,
And see, there's
Jordan.
the
To
compromise.
go ahead,
Go ahead,
D.
Dad. No, no.
No,
I
sir.
was just saying there's the compromise because Jordan, I want you to have the things you want to have, and I want to have savings also. But it doesn't mean that if you like getting your nails and your hair done, if you like buying a purse every so often, I want you to have that. But I also want
Mhm.
us to have money to retire on so that we can live the way we want to live. And that takes a compromise. That takes us saying we're because do you really want to save for 20 years and not do anything? And then after 20 years, you find out you have a disease and you can't spend your money? That's
No,
not living. That's
no,
no
for sure. But
right. That's not even thriving. If and we need to thrive.
Mhm.
I also want to throw in the variable of this. Uh, yeah, I want to throw in the variable that somebody can be working towards everything they want to do, taking the steps they need to do, and then unfortunately, in this corporate world that we live in, everything gets snatched.
Yeah.
Regardless if you wanted it or not, regardless if you was the greatest employee, the greatest manager, greatest director, right? So
Mhm.
I understand from a perspective that saving is important because if this world that we live in is an evil world, it's a dog eat dog world where if they wake up the next morning at 6 a.m. and this is public, so I can say it on this live, Oracle wakes up at 6 a.m. and they're letting go. We're not talking about lower level, we're talking about C suite executives.
Email.
Some board some board members to an email at 6 a.m. said we no longer need your no thank you for your 15, 20, 25 years.
Hmm.
You wake up to an email where you got up, you showered or whatever, you started cooking for the family, getting your kids ready for school, but you got an email just that you didn't check your work phone because 6 a.m. is not work time. That hey, there's no There's no need for me to look. But I no longer have a job to go to. So
Right.
I understand the saving aspect, especially when you don't have a backing. So if your back is always against the wall and you don't have that, I would say that crutch where I can go to family or I got 401k or I got my Roth IRA. Like, you don't have that, saving is always going to be key. And
It
I
is.
just
It
I just
is.
want to make that clear. It depends on circumstances because the thing is, this world is not friendly to anybody, and it's not friendly to our culture of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's point blank. Period. We've been taught since we was you the OG D Nice, and I guarantee you would tell me the same thing right now at 31. You're gonna have to do 2 times more every time. Yes or no? I don't need
Yeah.
no drawn
And
out. Yes or no?
yeah. And it's not cute. This world does not suffer fools. And it is not cute. But that's why we, especially people of color, are built with the gene of pivot. Got to be able to pivot. My wife taught me that word. And when I say taught me, beat it into my head because I was on a path and I thought it was the right path and I stayed with that path. And that path disappointed me. As many of our paths have disappointed each one of us. But we got to be able to pivot. And Dove, here's the real truth. What we saving all the time, all the time, all the time, or we spending all the time, all the time, all the time. That's not balanced. You're not thriving doing either. When you're thriving is you're saving and you're looking at how you're saving and you're investing and you're looking at how you're investing and then you're spending a little, you're going on a cruise, you're taking a trip so that you can see the world and get more motivation to go back to work and save more.
For
You see what I'm
sure.
saying? It's
No,
all
for
about
sure.
a motivation. It's all about motivation. And I don't want you in a world. I don't want any of us in a world where the only thing we're doing is worrying about the man. The man is going to be there. The man is there. He is in office. Okay. Now, with that being said, we have to still live our lives and enjoy our lives. And we have to find that balance.
I'm gonna
And
be
that
real with you,
is.
D.
Hmm?
I ain't mean to cut you off. I agree with you
No.
wholeheartedly on everything you said. But I'm gonna say this. As a
Hmm.
young man in his career, currently working, building things up, things of that nature,
Hmm.
like making sure I have stability and I have a workplace to go to is always gonna be priority. But I'm also gonna say this too, and I'm gonna make this very clear. My
Hmm.
faith is stronger than anything any man on this earth could ever tell me. Cause I done seen monsters before and I got through them. That being said, all I'm saying is, unfortunately, for we're generalizing a statement here, right? We're not talking about us, we're just
Hmm.
generalizing. For
Hmm.
majority of the world, things are portrayed and seen a lot differently based off circumstances. And
Hmm.
at the end of the day, I grew up in a you got to go get it type of family. That's
Hmm.
just how we move. So if I don't if I don't find a way, I'm gonna create one. And in my ideal situation, I'm gonna create both. Find a way or
So
Yeah.
create
that's
one.
the
I'm gonna do
reason why
both.
you move that way.
Yeah.
You're thinking in terms of what happens if I get, laid off, or what happens, rainy day, things like that. So I think your upbringing has a lot to do with the reasons why we even have people who are more savers versus spenders. And it can go both ways, right? You can have an upbringing where you didn't have anything and you grow up to become a saver because I'm making sure that I have the things that I have and I need. And I'm going to make sure I have the money to do so. Or you grow up from not having gotten anything, no Christmases, no birthdays, everything was a struggle. You wake up and you got money now, so you're spending everything. So I do think that your upbringing has a lot to do with why you feel like the need to saving might be a little bit more important to you, or making sure that you have it, or making sure that you find a way financially, be it for yourself or your family, whatever the case may be. That's a part of your nature. That's a part of who you are, period. And it's interesting to see how our financial beliefs intertwine with who we are as people, because we're not going to always necessarily be savers or spenders, but our nature to choose one over the other, or to buy the pair of Jordans, or to save for a trip to wherever, right? That is stemming from our childhood and what we saw and what we were exposed to, more than it is our adult lives and what happens whenever we actually get the cash to spend it or save it.
Yeah, you just cooked. I know we getting late on time, Big Al, but I gotta say this one more time before. Oh, what we rolling? Are we rolling, or we at the time? We at the cut. What you feeling? Talk to me,
Listen,
big dog.
listen. I'm gonna leave it up to y'all. We got so much we can dive into this. Like we can keep it going if y'all ain't got nothing else to do. It's up to y'all.
I'm good. I can't speak for D Nice, Jordan, and J Hurd. D Nice, you're muted. OG, I love you. Hey, you talking? I love you, folks. You muted.
Okay, who muted me? That was, but anyway,
I did.
um,
My bad.
see what I'm saying. See what I'm saying. Um, I got another 20 minutes or so I can hang out, do the thing. So let's go ahead and keep talking. I mean, my thing is, I think we came up with a good. I think we came up with some good information. I think that um, we have a good chemistry. What you got, big dog?
All right. Well, Danielle saying good night, but she made up. But she made some good points though. Uh, People who are bad communicators or bad communication. Some people will say that in a relationship, especially communication is everything. So my question to y'all is, if you are with somebody who you know is not great at communication, is that a deal breaker per se?
I'm gonna be honest. For me, yes. I think all of y'all know me very well. I overly communicate. I'm working on that because sometimes too much communication could be a bad thing, right? You be too transparent, too straightforward. There's a lot of things to that. Um, but if I can't, I'm a mental stimulator. So if we can't talk through some things, or you can tell me some things and make me feel some type of way, like I can't rock with it. I can't do it. Talk to me. Talk me through it. I need you to talk me through it. I need all of that, good and bad.
You
I want to
know,
know the
mhm.
willingness that you have to learn to communicate better. And that's just probably the natural teacher in me, is just to like give people some sort of an opportunity to get there, right? Because not everybody has the same resources or upbringing as I. So I think if you're completely shut off from learning to become a better communicator, then for sure, that's a deal breaker. But if it's something that we could work on, and we can find a way to learn how to communicate with each other very well, I think that maybe.
Yeah, I think that you have to be able to you have to respect the person that you're with. Um, One of the things that I said to my wife a few years ago is, I'm going to listen, even if I don't want to listen. I'm going to listen. And I know some people think that's strange, but what I was trying to say was sometimes for me, telling me immediately to make a decision probably is not going to work. But if you let me sit with it for a minute, she's told me some things and let me sit with it for a minute. And after you get past the hurt feelings or the ego, of it all. And it's not that she said it wrong. It's just that I may not have been willing to accept it at that moment. But when you sit with it for a minute, you were like, you know what? Okay, that makes sense. Then you get to ask yourself some tough questions. And I have gotten some of the most significant growth from those conversations. So it's about communicating. And then, you know, one of the things I try to stay away from, because I'm notorious for it, is being in my own head, thinking things and then beating the thought down that I thought about, rather than just express it and let's talk about it. So, you know, that's what I am working on, is to be a better communicator. And I believe that my wife has made me a better communicator.
Wait a minute, gang. I hate to table this, but we have reached our limit for the night.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna go on the table this for right now, but we're gonna pick up. Go ahead, Doug. You muted. You muted, big dog. You muted, big dog.
Think he's having some technical issues.
You muted. We can't hear you.
I think he's buffering. I got him buffering.
Yeah, I got him buffering a little bit too.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got to table this. We appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. This has been a great episode. We went a lot deeper into some subjects, and we hope that y'all appreciate the content. We appreciate the 100 subscribers that we have right now. Now we need to start working on 100 more.
There we go.
You know, we are growing. We appreciate all y'all. If y'all would like to contribute to help us grow, we are taking donations that can go towards the improvement of the podcast, improvement of the content, all that good stuff. We on Cash App at $ Still in the Mud. We on Venmo at Still in the Mud. You know, I really appreciate all the support that everybody's been giving us week to week. We're going to keep trying to bring y'all some good content, some good things to talk about, and food for thought. Dub, what you got?
I can close this out real quick. I'm sorry. All right, so listen. When we started Still in the Mud, we honestly didn't know what to expect. We started a brand new podcast. Shout out to our captain, Big Al Jameson, right? And we took a bit of leap of faith. We put our stories, our conversations, ideas, a little piece of everybody all into one place. So reaching 100 subscribers feels pretty incredible. And we did that tonight based off the community of y'all. So to every person who's listening, every episode, you subscribe, you send it to your friend, your mama, your auntie, girlfriend, situation, whatever. We say thank you truly. Because every single subscriber has represented a real person in a real conversation, in a real decision. And y'all been in our scenarios before where everything that we talking about, you probably have had these conversations with your friends, your family, your best friends, girlfriends, the homies, anybody. But for the simple fact that y'all choose to tune in each week, we want to say thank you. We genuinely appreciate the love. And these 100 subscribers is the first step to us continuously building this community as being still in the mud. Because we still here, but we still taking that same mud and molding it to go brick by brick. So at the end of the day, the Still in the Mud podcast is just not the panel. It's a lifestyle. It's an understanding. It's a community. And it is y'all. So to all of that, and this is off the top, I want to say, and we as a panel of Still in the Mud podcast want to say, thank y'all for tuning in day and day each week. Thank you for the contributions. If you have anything, as he already said, y'all know the Venmo, y'all know the Cash App. We'll take it so that we can keep evolving this podcast to go to the next step, the next level. And to that, I'm gone. We gone. Shout out to Still in the Mud.
Appreciate y'all.
I'll go.